KC9VKV, this is K2RC.
K2RC, go ahead, what's the name?
The name here is Ray, Romeo Alpha Yankee, and I'm operating out of Mount Airy, Maryland, about 37 miles north of the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area.
Roger, great signal. Looks like to be about a 10 over, Roger.
Very good. I just thought I was listening. Hello. I couldn't hear him very well, though. Anyway, you were talking about the 7300. I also have a 7300. I was just curious how it compares to the other guy you were listening to. Go ahead.
Well, you might need a little fattening. I would suggest running the compressor and put the compressor in gear at about a 3. About a 3 on the compressor. Are you familiar with your radio?
It would be a while. I have a compressor on there right now, but I think I have it operating pretty lightly. I would have to add a little bit more to it, I think.
Lighter than a 3?
I don't know. Let me see. I have to figure out how to open that up and take a look at what the setting is.
All right. Maybe we can get you a whole setup here where you two can be 3 dB dynamic range or thereabouts. It might be an experiment. I have an experiment in mind, sir, if conditions permit and you are able to find all the aspects to that 7300.
I have the compressor looking at it right now, and it's showing 2 dB. I think that's what it's saying right now.
Well, is it a 0 to 10 adjustment? You want to put it on a 3.
Well, it says 0 to 2 is at the other end of the scale.
You want to engage it at about a third of its capabilities, whatever that might be in lingo. You know, if you could figure out where half is, then a third would be close, a little bit more than half of a half.
Okay, I got it set on 3 right now. How does that sound?
All right, we're coming along. Now, what I want you to do is take a look at your mic gain and see where you've got that set.
37%.
All right, take that up to about 50.
How's that sound?
All right, tell me about your antenna system.
You will find this entertaining, but I'll have to tell you anyway. My antenna is an 88-foot double extended ZEP cut for 20 meters, and right now I'm operating it with a Polestar AT2K matchbox. The interesting thing about it is it's sitting about 15 feet above the ground, and I believe that the reason it seems to work fairly well is that the surrounding terrain is much lower than where it's sitting. It's sort of on a ridge. So the effective height is greater, much greater. But anyway, it's not sitting very high up. Running it with a Polestar LA1K amplifier. Right now, putting out what looks to be about 800 or so watts.
Roger that. Now, which mic are you using?
Using the ICOM SM30.
All right. Do you know where your equalization is?
Oh boy, now I have to go dig that out of the menus to figure out what I've got there. I'll have to go look at that.
All right, take a note. When you get to find out where your equalization is, put about 3 clicks more on the top end. I think that 7300 has 2 EQ situation, so just on the top end, add 3 plus 3 at whatever reading you have right now. Add plus 3 to that.
Roger that. Let me play with some of these menus here, see if I can get to that.
Alrighty. Gosh, in the book would tell you pretty quick, but I realize sometimes we go exploring without the map. Anyway, 7300 is, like I say, the radio of the hour, and running that radio is just a delight. I get to run it remotely on the transmit side. I've never really considered what it might be like on the receive side of a 7300. I'm just on the transmit side.
Okay, give me a hint. What's the quickest way to get into that transmit menu again? I think it's one of the quick menus. Is that how you get there?
I don't think Quick would do it. Quick, well, maybe. I know Quick takes you to a drive in the 7610. I'm not exactly sure. Check it out there. Hit Quick and see where you go.
Nah, it just says meter and a couple of other functions. It doesn't have the transmit in there. I'll have to look at something else here.
Oh, Roger. Well, probably, I would say, do you have your book close by?
I do. I'll have to look it up here.
Repeat station with information. Try again.
Go to menu and settings.
Menu and settings, I think it is there. Menu and settings. Thank you.
Yeah,
He's right. Okay, so you're saying tone control?
Yes, sir. Open that up.
Okay, so treble is sitting right now at +3, and you're saying a little bit more?
Yeah, put another 3 on it. Let me hear you.
Apparently it only goes to +5, so that's where she is right now.
Okay, now go to the bottom end and add +2.
Okay, how's that sound?
Gosh, we already went through the antenna. Tell me something for about 15 seconds.
Okay, how does that sound with my voice counting up from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Anything better there? Sound any different?
Sounds perfect. Your dynamic range is like about a 2 dB. So it's you are being all that you can be, Roger, I think.
Well, I appreciate that little tune-up session. I spoke with another ham several years ago, right after I got the radio, and he kind of walked me through all this, some settings that he had done, and most people have given me fairly good audio reports, but apparently since you've got the SDRs there looking very carefully at the spectrum that I'm putting out, I guess you can help me to fine-tune it, but I appreciate you giving me that feedback.
Oh, Roger that. And I would suggest, and not that you need it necessarily, but if you get a chance or opportunity to get a windscreen for that mic, you would just be solving so many potential problems. I'm not saying that I didn't detect many anomalies in that microphone that would be a dire situation to get a windscreen, but a windscreen, a foam windscreen does take away many of the potential problems, and it doesn't really cost any frequency response, and it's just a nice insurance policy that you're not going to have a problem.
Actually, I already have a windscreen on it, and it's kind of an interesting story. The microphone itself doesn't come with a windscreen, but I have a Heil Pro headset that has a boom mic, and I played with that for a while, and I didn't like the way it sounded. So when I got this SM30, I said, wait a minute, I could always use the windscreen, so there was a little foam windscreen sitting on the other one, so I stuck it on the ICOM microphone. So it has a little bit of protection there.
Oh, yeah. Great, super. You're ready, boy. You got it going on.
Thank you very much. Now, you said earlier, you said you were going down to 100 watts. You went up to full power, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, right now we're about at KW, and I'll drop down. This is 100 watts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's back to KW, Roger.
Okay, yeah, you're running about 10 over 9 when you're at a kilowatt level. But I thought it was pretty good. The band is actually acting pretty nice. According to QRZ, you're about 470 miles distant from me, and that's a pretty nice sounding signal. I'm assuming you have a much more sophisticated antenna than I do.
Well, this is a simple inverted V at about 35 feet. But we do have a kind of an interesting tuning aspect to it. We are not using a transformer. only using the ugly coil there to keep the RF from coming back down the line. But when we tune the inverted V, we on the ground side we use that to adjust the SWR. And on the high side, we use that to adjust the frequency. So obviously, when you work on one, you need to adjust the other. So, but we're always adjusting the SWR on the negative side and always bringing it back onto frequency on the positive side. So we're running 3 inverted V's on that tower, and they're running 1.01 to 1. Roger.
Sounds like a pretty nice setup. Yeah, I have open wire line feeding the ZEP out there, and I find that to be the best way to go, because you can. I use that antenna for all bands except for I can't operate down to 80. At 88 foot long, it's pushing it a little bit at 80, but 40 on up, it seems to do well. You can tune it fairly decently. So I have limited real estate here for operating with antenna, so I just basically have to have one antenna, and I sort of reasoned that this one was the best compromise, especially if 20 meters happens to be working to some reasonable degree. This thing works quite nicely, gives me a little bit extra boost on 20 meters, a little extra gain. Theoretically, it should be 3 dB more than a dipole. It works fairly well. It doesn't do too bad on 40 either. So anyway, well, it's good talking with you, James. I appreciate all the help getting the radio tuned up, and 73s to you. Have a great day.
Roger, and just before you go, and out of curiosity, I want you to go to your ALC, and I am going to be a Kreskin, and I'm going to predict that you will be running a 2/3 scale on your ALC.
Hang on, let me get the meter setting here. Actually, let's see, I've got it set about half scale, I think, just about halfway up.
Okay, well, great. I was thinking you might be a little bit further into the ALC, but that's great. I usually recommend running between half and 2/3 scale ALC. So great, you're good to go.
Very good. You have a great day, and hope to hear you again on the bands here.
Roger, Roger. Well, don't be a stranger. We'll probably be here next Friday afternoon, so if you get a chance, drop by and share, the most interesting things that you've run across between now and then, or then and now. Threes. Catch you later, Art. This is KC9VKV.
Take care, James. KC9VKV is K2RC, out and clear.
Roger. And this is KC9VKV and the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. If you've got a radio, you want to check the audio, give us a shout. We are standing by.